Welcome back. I'm Debbie Daly, and this is a Yin Yoga practice for the kidney meridian, which will include a healthy dose of forward bends and poses to stretch the spine and the backs of the legs. The kidney meridian pairs with the urinary bladder meridian, and when the energy of this pair is imbalanced, it can manifest in our tendency to hold on to people and things and a fear of change and difficulty letting go. When this energy is in balance, we can blossom with confidence, wisdom, and a greater capacity for trust. So the kidney meridian stores your essence energy, which is called your Jing energy. Your Jing energy is best described as a sense of being at home in yourself. Let's go ahead and dive into the practice. And what we're going to do to begin this practice is to trace the kidney and the urinary bladder channels. So the kidney channel begins at the back of the leg and comes up. So you can take one hand and trace the back of the leg on the other side, and then up the inside of the back of the thigh. So it's kind of your inner hamstrings and maybe your groin muscles a little bit too. And then it dives into the body, so we can't quite trace that, but moves through the lower back. And then as you take your hands to your back, you can just kind of feel your kidneys and your adrenal gland area. This is the upper part of the lower back. Maybe give a little massage here. And then we move up. You can take the hands to come as close as you can to the back of your heart, coming up and over the top of the back of the head, and then to the front of the forehead, and then down to the eyes. So this is the urinary bladder channel, and so they're contiguous. And so the urinary bladder channel actually begins at the eyes, comes up and over the back, and down the either side of the spine, and now it connects in to the inner body and the organs to the kidney meridian at the kidneys, and this is where it starts to be more internal in this more yin meridian. So the yin meridian is the lower body part. The urinary bladder channel is the more upper body part, also continuing down. The urinary bladder is also the back of the leg, but more the outside of the leg. So this is why lots of our forward bends are part of this kidney practice. And we'll begin with the butterfly pose. So we'll start with the soles of the feet together. Feel free to put a cushion under your seat. Most people seem to like a cushion, so use a firm pillow or a couple firm pillows as you wish. We'll take 3 minutes here. You can clasp around the toes, you could rest your hands on the floor, or you could put some blocks under your hands if the floor is feeling kind of far away this morning. And noticing what's here, what's present in the sensations that you feel, bringing a sense of curiosity to this body, and especially the back of the body. What's happening? What have you been doing in your life that's affecting how you feel in this pose right now? Or what has life been presenting at your doorstep that is affecting how your body feels right now? I'm excited to share this practice with you because this is my favorite channel of the body, or pair of channels to work with. I really love stretching the back body. And it's important in Yin Yoga to let the back body actually stretch, which means Softening the shoulders, softening the head, letting the spine round, which is quite different from other styles of yoga where very often there's more of this kind of spine straight emphasis. And this is not what we want to do here, because that takes the stretch out of the spine. It takes it out of our target area of the urinary bladder channel. So let the spine round, let the body be soft, and allow yourself to surrender into gravity. And slowly now rising up, making your way all the way down onto your back to rest, coming into pentacle pose. So spread the legs, spread the arms in this star-shaped version of the yoga resting pose. So it's just like a wide Savasana. Feel the energy that's moving through your body right now. Feel the back of the body, left and right sides of the spinal column. And now bending your knees, hug them into your chest, wrap the arms around the legs, gently rock side to side. And roll all the way to one side and make your way up to rest on your belly for Sphinx pose. And so here we have a kind of an opposite kind of stress on the lower back and maybe the middle back as well. So before we were stretching in the butterfly pose, now we are more compressing the lower back. And both are considered good and therapeutic in this Yin Yoga setting. So we have 3 minutes here, and you can choose to do this Sphinx pose in any way you wish, palms down, hands clasped, or holding opposite elbows. And if you want more sensation here, if you're not feeling quiet enough, you can lift up, straighten the arms into seal. And typically there's an adjustment of the hands and arms for seal, usually turning the hands out like a seal's flippers, maybe widening the hands so that you feel as supported as you can, resting into gravity here so that your arms aren't doing all the work. Whichever pose you want to work with today. And when you settle into your arm position, you can begin to experiment with your leg position, wider or narrower, to see what feels best in your spine. And maybe you can tune into what's happening in your sacrum, stimulating the energy of the second chakra here, which has its root in the sacrum. can take a few deep breaths here. And feel how that breath moves into the lower back, filling out the kidney area, filling out the lower back. Slowly release onto the belly, rest your forehead on top of your hands, and feel the energy in your low back now. And continue to breathe into the low back. And now press your hips up and back to come into child's pose. Knees can be wide or narrow as you wish, and settle down. Maybe your forehead's on the ground, maybe it's on a block or a cushion. And now slowly coming up into a sitting position for a journey through some half butterfly related hamstring stretches, beginning with left leg forward, right leg bent in half butterfly. So again, please sit up on a cushion or two if you want some lift there. A lot of people like to do it that way. It just kind of helps tilt the pelvis in a way that might be helpful to you. So what we have is 1.5 minutes here, and then we will switch to a second variation. So in this variation, you can be straight over the leg, or you can have your torso angled slightly inside the leg. You could have this knee farther back and be more of a diagonal, or you could have the knee farther forward, which will square the hips more. And they're all good, they're all valid variations. It's just an invitation to explore how your body feels here in the various choices you might make. The target area is primarily the back of your leg. And if you take your hands toward the inside of the leg, you might get more of that inner thigh stretch, that kidney meridian, which is not directly on the inner thigh. It's more back and inner leg. Okay, now moving up and into our second half butterfly variation, which is a half shoelace. So we take the right knee over top of the left, which for some of you isn't going to happen directly, and that's fine. You might have your knee a little bit up or out to the side. No worries where it is exactly. It's more about just narrowing this width between the legs as you come forward. And most people will experience a less ability to come forward here. You might feel a little bit more stuck. And I'll just encourage you to kind of be with that sensation and notice, instead of how far forward you're coming, where is the stretch? Where is the sensation? Give it a chance if you've never tried this one before. And after a half a minute or so, if you're finding it intolerable or impossible, then go back to the first variation or make some adjustment that helps you to feel like you're being productive in some way. Is being productive what we're doing here? I guess we could think of it that way, but we're productive a lot in our lives. We come to the mat to not be productive, I guess, to more release, to let go. So this variation anchors the thigh down, anchors the leg down in a way that intensifies the hamstring stretch and intensifies the low back stretch. Some people love it, and others are less fond. And that's our 90 seconds there. Third variation, take this right leg into the opposite direction, coming into the half frog variation. A lot of different angles you could choose here. Everyone's hips are different, so you might be more way back, you might be somewhere in the middle, you might have your knee right next to the leg. You might need to sit up on more cushion than you already have. As you come forward, notice where the stretch is. For some people, it stays in the back of the leg. For others, it moves entirely to this back leg and becomes more of a groin stretch, which is not a bad thing. It could be a good groin stretch, but since we're focusing on the kidney channel today, I'd like you to take a different variation, one of the first two, if your primary sensation here is not in the back of the leg or if it hurts your knee or your hip. And again, you can angle your torso toward the space between the two legs. It doesn't have to be directly over the leg. This variation tends to get into the back of the leg more, and it doesn't take the stretch out of it doesn't take the stretch to the spine as much, the way the first one does. And slowly release. Now take both legs in front of you and your hands behind you, and we'll do a stimulation now of the back body of the kidney meridian. So fingers can point forward, sideways, backward, whatever your arms and hands like best. And now lift up your hips, squeeze the back body, squeeze the buttocks to lift up, send the head back if it's comfortable, or keep the chin in if you prefer. Lift the hips a little higher. Feel the back of the legs, the hamstrings engage to lift you high. And now release your hips back down. Coming into the other side, starting with half butterfly with the left knee bent. Foot to somewhere on the inside of the leg, could be farther down or farther up. Coming into your version of half butterfly, maybe over the leg, maybe angled in between the two legs somewhere. Making your choices by how it's affecting the target area, the back of the leg, kidney channel, inner back of the leg, and also alongside of the spine, all the way up and down from the sacrum up to the neck and even the base of the skull as you choose how you want to relax your head. And slowly releasing, coming up, taking it into the shoelace, the half shoelace version. Left knee coming on top of the right leg or some approximation of that. And notice when the legs are narrowed like this, how does it affect the stretch? Is it more in the spine now? Is it distributed between the spine and the leg? The variations exist not because we're meant to master each variation, but because we all have different bodies. So it would be wonderful if you'd come out of this exploration with one favorite way to stretch your hamstrings out of these 3 choices. And maybe you have 2 favorite ways, or maybe you like them all. But really, all you need is one. Very slowly come up, changing to the half frog. So rotating the leg so that the left foot comes to your outer hip, knowing that this is just not even possible for a lot of people. So please don't put yourself into any pain in trying to achieve this posture. If it doesn't work for you, if it doesn't help you stretch the back of your leg, then go back to one of the first variations. Remembering you can experiment with your torso position farther to the left inside the leg. Or more directly over the leg. Slowly releasing now, and take these legs both out in front of you and lower down onto your back now, all the way down, resting with the body sprawled out in pentacle if you enjoyed that, or just any resting position here. Eyes can be open or closed as you allow the sensations that are happening in your body to draw your awareness in. That was a lot of stimulation on the back body, a lot of stimulation of the kidney meridian and the urinary bladder channel, the hamstrings, the sacrum, the lower back, the whole spine up and down. And now bending the knees, draw them into the chest. Inhale, and exhale, lift your head up toward your knees. And release the head back down. Rolling over onto one side, coming up for Dragonfly pose. So wide leg forward bend here. And there is also the Dragonfly pose at the wall, where you lie down with your sitting bones at the wall and then let the legs open right up against the wall. Please feel free to take that version if this doesn't feel good for you. This hurts some people's insides of their knees. If that's you, then try doing it with narrower legs or having support under the knees, or both. You can have big pillows under the knees to come forward in this position, or just do it here with bent knees, but it tends to be a little more relaxing with some kind of cushion here. If you're comfortable with the straight legs and you enjoy it, then go for it. Taking it into a 3-minute Dragonfly pose here. We don't have to go into our widest possible Dragonfly, especially for this kidney exploration, where we're more not trying to get the groin as much with the wide spread, but the forward bend, the backs of the legs is what we want to feel. You may be someone who likes to have support under your forehead or under your elbows and forearms, so please feel free to place a bolster or block or a couple blocks there for support. And you may find after that luscious hamstring exploration we did before this that you're able to soften into this a little more than usual if you're used to doing this pose. So yoga really changed for me when I discovered the Yin practice. I was really ready to leave the yoga world at a certain point. I'd been doing a lot of yoga where I was being told exactly how to do it, and the things I was being told to do were not working for my body. They weren't right for my body, and it was causing a lot of emotional distress. It was causing physical distress. And I found Yin Yoga, and the best way I can describe this practice was like it was coming home. It was like, oh, instead of my body belonging to all those other people, all those teachers and people who were telling me the right way to do it, it was an invitation to find my own body, to really feel, since I'm the best authority on my body, because I'm the one who lives in it, to say, hey, you know what? You're the one who knows what feels best. So you decide how to do the pose. So it was a coming home, and that is very related to this Jing essence energy, this sense of home in ourselves with our kidneys, with our kidney energy. So very slowly come up, take a rest on your back once again, 1 minute. And inviting a sense of being at home in your body, in this energy that's flowing right now, this chi, this prana that's filling your awareness. And now bending your knees and taking the feet wide as your mat, or a little wider or narrower as you like, for Windshield Wipers. So with both feet planted, knees come to the right, head turns left, and knees up to center and over to the other side. And continue back and forth at your own pace. If you feel like you want to have your legs narrower or wider, go for it. Head goes opposite the knees. And you might enjoy, what I always like is to have the arms come up over the head. Things are popping. Things are popping today. And now let's come into the spinal twist. So taking both knees in and over to the right, you might need to just kind of shimmy your body around to get the right angles here. Maybe both knees are on top of each other. Any spinal twist, again, your choice. The bottom leg could be straight and just the left knee bent over. Or the cattail pose, if you're familiar with reaching back, holding that back foot. This is a good variation for stimulating the kidney channel. It adds an extra back bending sensation to the twist, which really gets into right into where the heart of the kidney meridian is. But if that's not happening for you to hold that back foot, then just take both knees on top of each other or cross the knees if you like that variation. Pillows, blocks can be very helpful here, under the knees, under the shins, under the feet, or between the knees. And slowly release. Bring your legs back up to the center and pause at the center. Rest your knees against each other. Place your feet as wide as your mat or thereabouts and hands on your belly. Rest and breathe. And you can send the breath into the kidneys here, into the lower back. Notice the difference between the right and the left sides of your lower back. And release to the second side in your twist. Both knees to the left or bottom leg straight, right knee crossed over, or taking the foot in the hand for the cattail. Using cushions under the head if you're in the cattail, that can help, or cushions between the knees or under the knees as you like. And releasing your twist, coming back up to the center and making your way into a rest, spread out, sprawl out in pentacle or any resting position that you wish. And feel the rebound in the body. Feel the afterglow of the spinal twist in your spine, in your kidneys, in your lower back. And bending your knees and hugging them into your chest. Rolling over to one side and coming into a symmetrical straight leg forward bend called caterpillar pose, or legs up the wall pose if you prefer. Feel free to put cushions under your seat here. Hands can be on the shins, the ankles, the feet, or either side of the legs. And so whether to hold on to the feet, if you even have that option, it's, for me, I can, but my arms aren't quite relaxed, so I choose to let the arms relax more often and just soften and surrender into more of a gravity relaxing sensation with my arms. But for some people, that extra bit of pressure is really, they really enjoy that sensation. So we don't want in our yin practice to have a lot of effort going into pulling or creating stretches. However, for some people, just that simple act of having the arms there creates without effort, creates a bit of extra stretch that feels quite nice. So that might be you. For others, reaching the feet is not happening in this lifetime. As long as you're feeling the stretch in the back of the legs, back of the spine, then you are doing the pose. And this was another thing to continue my story of Yin Yoga being like my homecoming. I was really refreshed by the language in Yin Yoga, where I didn't have people telling me that eventually my chest would come to my thighs, because I had already been doing yoga for 5 years or so, and I was like, you know, my chest is not coming any closer to my thighs. I don't look like those yoga journal people folding in half, and I don't think that's ever going to happen for me. And finally I found good teachers who confirmed that. They're like, yeah, because of the bones of your pelvis, that's not going to happen for you, and there's nothing wrong with that. Most people don't fold in half. Those people are the exception. So here we have our final few breaths in this kidney, urinary bladder channel exploration in the asana realm. So feeling the backs of your legs, feeling the back of the spinal column. Resting here for one more luscious minute. If it feels good, you can breathe into the lower back once again and envision the chi filling into the kidney area and dispersing through the kidneys, down the kidney channel, backs of the legs, up and down the spinal column, over the crown of the head, blessing the mind, blessing the brain, blessing your eyes. Very slowly, we come out of this pose and into final relaxation in Savasana or pentacle pose. So spread yourself out if you like. And feel the effects of blessing this body with the Yin practice. Stimulating and stretching the kidney channel. Inviting yourself to feel at home in this body, to feel the welcome guest in this home of the breath, of the sensations that you feel. Of all your abilities and limitations. Whatever I am able or not able to do, this is unique to me. This is mine. I embrace it, I accept it. And I dwell in this beautiful essence of this being, this self. And now take a deeper breath into your belly and into your lower back. And from the low back, send the energy down through the legs and feet, and then reach up through the arms. Inhale, exhale, bend the knees to roll to one side and come up to some kind of a comfortable seat. And feel the uprightness of your spine and how this is supported by the area of the kidneys, the lower back, the sacrum. And breathe 3 breaths into the lower back. And now, moving into a brief meditation, I want you to visualize a time when you feel very much at home. It might be a sense of welcoming when you walk in the door by loved ones who you live with or animals who greet you. It might be the softness of your bed. It might be waking up and having your coffee or tea in your favorite spot. It might be your garden, or something that gives you that sense that I am here, I belong here. This is where my energy, my personal essence thrives. It may be a time in the past that is not feeling so in reach to you at this moment, and whatever it is, whether it's more recent or more long ago, take the qualities of that feeling. What can you remember about where you were? What was the temperature of the space? What were the sensations on your skin? What could you smell? What could you hear? What were your ears aware of? How were you breathing? And in this way, bringing those sensations into your sense memory here now in your meditation, feeding into your Jing, your essence, with the sense of I belong, I am home, I am. And now place your palms together in front of your heart and breathing again into the kidneys, and we will chant from the kidneys. So this will be an ah sound from the kidney area. So I'll do the first one and then you can join me for 3 more. So we inhale into the kidneys. Ah. Something like that. I had a little frog in my throat. But join me for 3 more of those, please. Inhale into the kidneys. And place your hands on your heart. And that is our practice. Thank you for joining. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed this practice, and if you did, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other Yin Yoga videos. Also, take a look at the first comment down below to see my latest special offer. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.